Hey guys, this is Chaos Chrono, back with another deck opening. We're moving on to deck number 3 for Dark Tidings. So far it's been pretty fun playing with this set. Looking forward to what else we can find. So without further ado, let's go on to deck number 3. Alright, we have the Fully Veiled Minstrel. It's a Starline's Shadows and Untamed deck. No new houses, but let's see what we got. Alright, starting with Untamed, we have Witch of the Dawn, 3-power creature with play. Return a creature from your discard pile to your hand. Way of the Pixie is an upgrade. This creature gains Reap, gain 1 Ember. The Fittest, it's an action. Ember whenever you play it. Give each friendly creature a +1 power counter. Malleob, 4-power creature. While the tide is high, Malleob gains Skirmish, and before fight, enrage the creature Malleob fights and each of that creature's neighbors. 2 copies of Malleob, 3 copies of Malleob. Mollymawk, 5-power creature, with play, destroy an artifact. Keyfrog, 2-power creature, when destroyed, forge a key at current cost. Infighting, each creature deals damage equal to its power to its right neighbor. Assert Dominance, it's an action. For the remainder of the turn, a friendly creature gains Skirmish, ready and fight with that creature. Ol Patty, 5-power creature with Reap, discard the bottom card of your deck, or the bottom 3 cards instead, if the tide is high. Play each creature discarded that way, one at a time. Gibbuck, 5-power creature with Destroyed, discard the top card of your deck. If it is a creature, after Gibbuck leaves play, put that creature into play in Gibbuck's position in the battle line. Cool, that's it for Untamed. Moving on to Starlights. We have Zap, it's an action, Amber whenever you play it. Deal 1 damage to a creature for each house represented among creatures in play. Shield You Later, 3-power creature with 2 armor. Shield You Later may be played as an upgrade instead of creature with the text, this creature gains +2 armor. Science Officer Kingcan, 2-power creature with elusive. After a player chooses an active house which matches no cards in play, steal 1 Ember. Officer's Blaster, Ember whenever you play it, it's an upgrade. This creature gains +2 power. This creature gains destroyed. Attach Officer's Blaster to this creature's right neighbor. Light of the Archons, also an upgrade. Ember whenever you play it. This creature gains +1 power and +1 armor for each upgrade attached to it. Biome Discovery, it's an action. Ember whenever you play it. If the tide is high, you may look at the top 2 cards of your deck and discard 1 of them. Otherwise, raise the tide. Ambervac, it's an upgrade. When you play it, raise the tide. And this creature gains at the start of your turn. If the tide is high, capture 2 Ember. Xeno Training, it's an action, Ember whenever you play it. For each house represented among friendly creatures, a friendly creature captures 1 Ember. Lay of the Land, it's an action, Ember whenever you play it. Look at the top 3 cards of your deck and put them back in any order, draw a card. CXO Tabor, 3-power creature with Fight Reap. You may play or use a non-Star Alliance card this turn. Very nice. Away Team, 5-power creature with Destroyed. Put each upgrade on Away Team into its owner's archives. Exploratory Craft. It's an artifact with action, exhaust up to 3 friendly creatures. For each house represented among creatures exhausted this way, draw a card. Cool. That's it for Starlights. Moving on to Shadows, we have Shoulder ID. 6-power creature with Taunt. Shoulder ID cannot fight. When Shoulder ID would deal damage, steal 1 Ember instead. Secret Needle, it's an artifact. With action, deal 1 damage to a creature. If this damage destroys that creature, gain 1 Ember. Scooped, it's an action, Ember whenever you play it, deal 2 damage to a creature. If it is not destroyed, it captures 1 Ember from its own side. One-Eyed Willa, 2-power creature. While the tide is high, One-Eyed Willa gains elusive and skirmish. And fight, steal 1 Ember. 2 copies of One-Eyed Willa. Loot or Pillage, it's an action. Play, choose one. either steal 1 amber, or a friendly creature captures 3 amber. Hard Simpson, 4-power creature with elusive. After Hard Simpson is dealt damage, steal 1 amber. If the tide is low, your opponent steals 1 amber instead, and he needs to survive the damage in order for the steal to happen. Francis the Economist, 3-power creature with skirmish. Fight, each player gains 1 amber. Trickle Down Theory, it's an artifact. Play, raise the tide, and Omni, gain 1 amber if your opponent has 6 amber or more. The Flying Spectre, also an artifact. After your opponent raises the tide, destroy the Flying Spectre. As action, steal 1 amber if the tide is high. Hand Cannon, it's an upgrade, amber whenever you play it. This creature gains skirmish, and fight. Move 1 amber from the creature this creature fights to your pool. I think the last card is Smiling Ruth, 1-power creature with elusive, and Reap. If you forge a key this turn, take control of an enemy flank creature. That's it for the deck. Let's get this sorted out and see what we got. Starting with Amber generation, we have 9 pips of Amber. We have 1 other card that can generate from Untamed. We have the Pixie. We have Science Officer Kidkin that might be able to steal us an Amber. And we have 9 cards in Shadows that can potentially get us Amber. So I'll estimate about 18 for generation, just off card effects. However, it might be actually lower if we are unable to utilize and have those creature effects occur. Overall, it's kind of disappointing that the Untamed is not the house that can burst, so this deck is not looking very fast, but let's see what else we got. Okay, looking at Amber Control, we have Xeno Training in Star Alliance, Scooped, Loot or Pillage, and the Flying Spectre in Shadows that definitely directly impact Amber and has a more consistent chance of hitting. Science Officer Kinkan and Ambervac require them to be on the field and are more situational, so I separated them, but they still count towards Amber Control. Then there's the 4 creatures from Shadows, the Shoulder ID, the 2 copies of One-Eyed Willa, and Hard Simpson. Again, all of them are situational and dependent on them staying on the board. Shoulder ID requires the opponent to fight into it. Both Hard Simpson and One-Eyed Willa rely on the Tide mechanic, otherwise One-Eyed Willa is probably not surviving a fight. And Hard Simpson, if the tide is low, you're losing the Amber. So overall I'm going to rate the Amber Control at about a 5. For Artifact Control we have 1 card, Mollymawk, straight up destruction, which is very good, so that's a solid 1. For Creature Control, we have 5 cards up top, Assert Dominance, Infighting, Sap, Scooped, and Secret Needle that deals damage to the opponent's board for direct removal. Infighting is the closest thing to a wipe, but there is no actual board wipe in this deck. We do have a lot of bigger creatures or useful creatures for fighting. The Fittest to increase their power, so Myliobes and the 5-power creatures in Untamed will likely be your main board. We have some supported cards in Star Alliance and Shadows as well. However, overall board power and board control is a little lacking. If the Untamed manages to hold onto the board, then that's great. However, overall total power size, it's not the highest. So if you do face off against decks with higher power creatures, whether it's Unfathomable, Saurians, Sanctum, etc., you might be running into some trouble there, as you don't have a real good way to remove creatures. So overall for creature control rating, I'm going to give it a 7, just to give it the benefit of the doubt that the creatures staying on the board will be as effective as we hope. But again, not looking too good in my eyes. Alright, looking at speed, we have Old Patty from Untamed, Biome Discovery, Lay of the Land, the ship from Star Alliance, and CXO Tabor to help us with speed. So those are 5 solid points there. We have Witch of the Dawn and Gabuk that can also potentially affect the speed. However, it may be more a bit of efficiency than speed. Away Team, also more of efficiency, especially being able to replay a lot of those upgrades that do have that have the Amber pips, and beneficial effects for us in the long run. So overall speed I'll rate at an 8. Alright, finally we look at the combos or the highlights of this deck. First of all, we have Keyforge and a way to remove him with infighting. However, once your battle line's bigger than your opponent's, that might be detrimental, unless it's for your last key. We also have the Myliobes with Assert Dominance, which allows you to ready and fight with Skirmish, so even without the Tide, a single Myliobe can definitely exhaust your opponent's creatures, which gives you an edge there. And for honorable mentions, we have Old Patty and Wish of Dawn. Any efficiency plays are definitely a plus in my books. Next in Starlines we have Away Team with the 4 upgrades. Light of the Archons and Officer's Blaster is definitely 2 of the main upgrades that will help you generate, with Ambervac being good for controlling the Tide. Other than that, the speed cards in Starlines are a good area of focus as well. CXO Tabor is a great card. The ability is really good as long as you can protect it, and we do have the Shoulder ID in Shadows to do so. Lay of the Land is again high value card, and Exploratory Craft is very interesting, letting you use creatures on your board from other houses to help you draw more. Lastly, in Shadows, not much to talk about there. The 2 artifacts are important: Trickle Down Theory to help you generate, and Flying Spectre to maintain a consistent steal. However, it is very easy to remove, and the Action Steal one means that it has to be on a Shadow's turn to be used. So overall, as a artifact, I feel it's pretty weak. Other than that, the Shadows set is pretty much just small Amber control, very situational, and in that sense, not the strongest Shadows. Not a big fan of it in this set, or at least based on this deck. Hopefully we'll find better Shadows in the future, but that pretty much sums up the deck. I'll probably give this deck a few runs, but overall I'm not expecting too much out of it. Amber generation isn't the highest, the Amber control is a bit lacking, speed is okay, but not great. There is artifact control, which is good, and the creature control is definitely more board based than action based, so it's a little less efficient. I don't see this deck being able to keep up with any sort of rush deck with the type of controls it has, and it's a bit reliant on the Tide. Luckily for us, we do have 2 cards that affect the Tide, however only one is more consistently repeatable, and that's assuming we have it on Away Team. So overall ratings for this deck, I'm going to give it a 62. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, whether you agree or disagree. If you think I missed anything and see a lot of potential in this deck, let me know. Still new to exploring Dark Tidings, so I welcome any learning opportunity. With that being said, that's the end of the video. Thank you guys for dropping by and watching. If you guys have any comments, suggestions, feel free to leave them down in the comment section below. And I hope you guys liked it. And with that, I'll see you guys in the next episode. And as always, be kind and happy forging.